Okay, so I just got to get my camera going in here. Are you ready? I have the heat on right now, which is too loud, I know, but I just wanted it to be warm. Your heated seat is on. Everyone, I want you to meet Tammy. Tammy, can you say your last name for me?
Petratus.
Petratus, okay. Tammy reached out to me, and I'm really excited and nervous to do this Trans-Canada Nissan drive-by because... Do I get to say you are deaf?
Yes.
That's the way to say it?
Yes.
So you can hear me right now?
I can, because I have a cochlear implant.
Oh wow, it just
and this
slipped right
is
off.
A magnet.
Oh.
Called the headpiece, and the headpiece is what sends it into my internal process.
So
implant.
they drilled into your head and put something that...
It sounds worse than it is.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's medicine, but I think there's something on the inside that it's connecting to, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The implant is what actually takes the digital information and turns it into the electric stimulation for the audio nerve. I was born hard of hearing.
Okay.
And it's hereditary for me. Slowly over my entire life until I was deaf at the age of 42. And I woke up one day and I had nothing.
What a feeling that must have been.
It was devastating.
Like you literally woke up and you didn't have any hearing?
Yes. And I thought it was my hearing aids. I thought they were broken. But it wasn't.
That makes me so sad for you.
But I had enough hearing before the age of 2 to learn how to speak well. Where typically if people have a loss greater than 40%, it is difficult for them to learn how to speak.
How old were you when they started to figure it out?
I think about 6 or 7.
And what were the signs?
I wasn't paying attention in school.
Exactly.
You don't know when traffic is going by you. You have to be extra careful. Your eyes become your ears because you're reading lips. You're looking for clues and triggers. I couldn't tell you how many times I went to step off a curb and, oh, there's a car there. So you have to be extra careful, and your eyes are your ears.
You were a bank teller, so you had to deal with the public all day, every day?
Yes, and it wasn't easy.
Do it again. One more time. I don't know, want to go home or something, school.
Where did you go to school?
Where did I go to school? Okay. Wow.
Try doing that all day long.
No.
It's exhausting.
No.
That's what people don't realize is that it is so exhausting being hard of hearing because you're just using every sense that you possibly can to fill in the blanks. And I've had clients say, haha, you're deaf, or can you hear me?
What?
Uh-huh.
Who does that? Are you serious?
But that's with any disability. You have to deal with rude people sometimes.
It's just so part of our society to assume everybody else
is able.
Exactly.
Well, even every time I write, it's great to hear that. I feel like it's wrong because not everybody can hear.
Does it offend you?
No. What are clues for people to realize, hearing people to realize that somebody might not be able to hear? And what's an effective way to communicate with people that can't hear? That's important.
Okay, tell us.
Because
Teach
that's
us.
spreading awareness, right?
And education, yes.
Yes. So if somebody is ignoring, you think they're ignoring you. I mean, I've had people think that I'm rude or a snob, and it's like, I'm not ignoring you. I can't hear you. If you do know they're hard of hearing, don't turn on and off the lights to get their attention. Just tap them on the shoulder.
Eye contact, right?
Eye contact is essential because if
Yeah.
you're over here, I'm not going to hear you.
There's so much noise going on, whether it's this or that. Like, to make eye contact with somebody, I would think is a huge asset, and to make sure they're looking at you.
We all need to do more of that.
That's a good point. So things you couldn't do for how many years?
I couldn't talk on the phone. I didn't watch televisions. I never went to a movie. I didn't listen to music, so I had to, it was my daughter who forced me to get a BlackBerry back in the day just so that she could text with me. And my kids were absolutely amazed the first time I phoned them, and the second time I phoned them, they were like, this is just so weird, and this is absolutely amazing.
Do you love music now?
Yes.
Oh, your emotion makes me emotional.
It's beautiful.
It
So
makes me emotional.
pretty much every night when I'm cooking dinner, I turn on my little Bose system that's on my kitchen counter and listen to music, and I love it. Love it.
I like how your husband says it's really loud.
Yes, he's come in and said, that's really loud. And I'm like, well, what would you be doing?
What about healthcare coverage?
The Ontario government pays for 1 year. Some people are lucky, and through research, they'll get 2 years.
Do you have 2 years or 1?
No, I have 1. I'm unilateral. So bilateral is 2 and unilateral is 1.
So you can only hear out of this side?
I can, but I have a neat little device on this ear called the Cross. So what it does is it's a microphone that picks up sound on my unimplanted side, and Bluetooth sends it into my implant.
Do you ever just tell people you're in Secret Service?
Well, that's a joke, because
You look like
that
you're
is
legit. You look like you're like
Secret Service.
Yeah, totally. You look like you're badass.
That's
Shelby.
much easier
Yeah.
to just say something like that.
So how much are they?
Well, the outside processor is about $10,000 for this piece. And the internal, I don't know, is about 25. We never see bills here in Canada. We don't see those.
25,000.
Yes, but then there's a lot of, then you need to have the surgery. And you need to have a lot of follow-up appointments. So approximately 100,000.
Wow.
Children are getting 2 mostly today.
I always find that like silver lining is that there's the access to this, like that you can.
Medical technology
That's
is
amazing.
phenomenal. I can hear better than I ever remember.
So deaf is an appropriate term.
Yes, but there's 2 types of deaf. So deaf, if you're born deaf, it's classically known as capital D deaf. And if you're deafened like me, that loses their hearing over their life, it's a small d.
What's an offensive term? What's the wrong term to say?
I don't take offense. I'm very lenient, but some people don't like hearing impaired, believe it or not, and that's a very commonly used one. But some
Hearing
people,
impaired is more offensive than deaf?
yes.
But deaf and dumb. Do you remember like that term? Like,
Oh, yes. People thought you were dumb.
like that's a terrible thing.
We
Is
could,
it still
well,
an
that's
issue?
called, there is a term for that. It's called autism for deaf discrimination. Okay, children back in the day, when they were deaf, babies, and parents didn't know, and the medical system had no way of testing them, a lot of them were sent to mental asylums. Hitler sent deaf children first.
This is why it is so important to educate and to create awareness. Education equals awareness, and it equals change.
When you know better, you do better.
I wanted to do some kind of experiment with you to sort of show people what it's like to live deaf. And I was talking to my husband about this because I was telling him I was really looking forward to interviewing you. And he said, well, you should just turn off the sound. You should just.
Lip reading is supposed to be only 30% accurate.
Do it again. There's a what in there. Okay, do it again. I don't know. Do it again. I have no idea.
What is the name of the lake?
No idea. The only word I got out of you there
You
was
got
what.
the what?
I got the what.
Really think about the different disabilities and how we can all help each other.
We can all help each other by being kinder, by being more understanding, and not being judgmental. Tammy, thank you very much for chatting with me and being so open and helping people understand. And I want you to say that last sentence, that saying you said for me again, because it is so powerful. When we know better.
When we know better, we do better. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
TransCanada Nissan, proud sponsor of MF's Drive-Bys, where satisfied customers are our best salespeople.